So India's new parliament building will be inaugurated on Sunday. The ceremony, of course, will begin with rituals and also a multi-faith prayer, followed by a formal opening in the Lok Sabha for the people of the House, and it will be inaugurated by the Prime Minister. So here's a look as to why the world's largest democracy is moving to a new parliament building, and also the debate around the census-based delimitation for Lok Sabha seats in 2026. Take a look.
India's present parliament building is showing signs of distress and overutilization. Construction of the present parliament building was started in 1921 and it was commissioned in 1927 by the British rulers of the time. The new parliament building is said to reflect the aspirations of 135 crore citizens and has been built alongside the existing parliament building. It has a built-up area of around 65,000 square meters, and triangular space ensures optimum space utilization. The new parliament building and the existing parliament building will work together as an ensemble. Now, crucially, the new building will house larger chambers for legislature. What do the numbers look like? The Lok Sabha Hall, now 3 times bigger, has a capacity of up to 888 seats. It is based on the peacock theme, India's national bird. The hall for the Rajya Sabha, or the Council of States, has a capacity of up to 384 seats. It is based on the lotus theme, the national flower. The Lok Sabha Hall may accommodate over 1,200 seats for joint sessions. The new building boasts of a state-of-the-art constitutional hall. The central lounge complements the open courtyard, which has the national tree, the banyan. Importantly, New Delhi will now have an energy-efficient parliament building, a symbol of India's commitment towards environmental sustainability. However, there is a pressing debate on how consensus-based elimination for Lok Sabha seats could shake up Indian politics and put the southern regions at a disadvantage. The number of Lok Sabha seats has remained unchanged at 545, based on the delimitation carried out on the basis of the 1971 census. It is likely to increase sustainability, as the freeze on total number of seats is only till the year 2026. Remember, proportional representation is enshrined in India's constitution, which governs the allocation of seats in Lok Sabha, the House of the People. Article 81 of the Constitution requires that each state receives seats in proportion to its population and allocates those seats to constituencies of roughly equal size. Reappointment carries profound implications for political parties. Some analysts say parties with bases concentrated in fast-growing northern states like the ruling BJP would gain more ground at the expense of southern regional heavyweights.
All right, so this, of course, is a crucial moment in India's democratic history. India is, of course, getting a new parliament which will be inaugurated tomorrow. And to tell us a bit more about it as to what it means for India's democracy, we're being joined in by Mr. Sandeep Ghosh, who is an author and also a political analyst. Mr. Ghosh, thank you very much indeed for joining us here on WION. Now, this of course, is an important day tomorrow, where the new parliament will be inaugurated. This, of course, is going to be a much bigger structure, which will accommodate more number of members of parliament, especially because of the delimitation exercise that is planned in 2026. Is that the key reason as to why India needed a new parliament?
I think India, there are 2 parts to it. There's the political part to it, and there is this practical consideration which you talked about. India would certainly need a larger parliament house. The question was whether the existing structure could be modified, which, without being an architect or an engineer, I would think that would have been a suboptimal choice, even if it could have been done. Because everything is laid of a particular size, and when you are really doing the House of Commons or House of the People. You don't want to, do it in a cut and paste manner. So certainly India deserved a newer, better parliament building, and there is no questions about it. Now, as regards the current structure, the timing, and the other elements, that's where the politics of it comes in. And the two, I think, should be separated. And when we talk about it, but the two are being conflated because, you see, if by 2026 a new parliament building was not ready, then one set of people could have used this as an excuse to say that why the delimitation exercise can't take place, why the number of seats of parliamentarians and members cannot be increased, try to push that back. There are obviously political connotations there, because if you see the new, the increased number of seats in light of new population, southern India would have proportionately less population than northern India. So in the new configuration of 800 plus seats, which are being talked about, you would have the dominance of the north would have increased substantially, would increase substantially, and that, I think, is a matter of concern. But the way to approach it is not to raise the secondary issues. If there is a constitutional factor, that should be debated in the parliament, and that too now in the new parliament house.
Absolutely, indeed, Mr. Ghosh. Now, I just want you to weigh in on this raging controversy that's being talked about a lot as to who should be inaugurating the new Parliament House. As the head of the state, the opposition says that it should be the President of India who should be inaugurating the new Parliament building. But the government has gone ahead and said the head of the government, who is the Prime Minister, will be inaugurating. What are your thoughts on this raging controversy?
These are, at best you can say these are matters of form. There is nothing, no legality, no legal provision which prevents the Prime Minister from doing that. And he is doing so at the invitation of the Speaker of the Parliament, who is really the master of the House. So I think in terms of legality, there are no issues.
Right.
If there was a constitutional, violation, people could have raised, and that the Supreme Court wasn't even willing to entertain a discussion on that. So the other bit, if you wanted to find faults, you could have found faults on everything else. Even if the president came, you could have said, why haven't the past presidents been called, or why haven't everybody else called? So those are, I think, again, political excuses.
Absolutely, indeed. My final question to you, Mr. Ghosh, before we let you go, is this. Now, the delimitation exercise is expected to happen in 2026. That's 3 years from now. But once that happens, and the parliament is, of course, expanded to reflect the new population reality of India, the northern states, of course, will have a much more, quantum of representation proportionally in comparison with the southern states. Do you think the southern states would oppose it?
I think the political dynamics would play out by then, and the political realities would play out. When this was conceived, the delimitation exercise, or earlier, people could not have really projected how the demographics would change in the country. And if there is a gross disparity or, a disbalance in that, I'm sure the politicians themselves will get back in the House and they will find a solution, because you cannot, just for the sake of, either the matter of space or a matter of a past legislation, enforce something which is both politically and democratically not really tenable.
I think that of course is going to be an important issue, Mr. Ghosh. I'm sorry, we're completely out of time. Thank you very much indeed, sir, for joining us and getting us all those insights there.
Thank you. Pleasure.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.